Welcome back, and as we promised, we are going to discuss together some of the files, some of the achievements which were made and realized on the ground in Egypt in the past 10 years. To shed more light on the important file, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mr. Abdul Rahman, journalist and our political analyst. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Well, I'm even more delighted. Thank you. Thanks to you, and good morning to you and the dear viewers.
Let's start immediately, Mr. Amr. As I said in my intro, of course, we do not have much time to speak about all the achievements realized on the ground in the past 10 years, but at least let's have some examples and discuss them together. And if you permit me, I'd like to start with our foreign affairs. 10 years ago, Egypt was suspended from the AU, the African Union, for example. We did not have good relations with many countries. And since day one, when President Abdul al-Sisi shouldered the responsibility of our country, he made it a first priority to have this balanced relations with the whole world, with the East and the West, to be the head of the African Union for in 2019, to return back to Africa, to regain the Egyptian pivotal role in the region. How do you see this file and our achievements in it?
Well, this is a good point to start with. I am sure that we have we have witnessed the start of the most important, one of the most important achievements in our foreign affairs file, with regaining our strong ties with our roots in Africa, that continent that we belong in the first place. Relations with our neighbors, brothers in Africa were very important to start with, to start our presidency of Mr. President Abdul al-Sisi with. We have lost contact and lost lots of relations in the past regime. For decades, we have witnessed almost no relations with our neighbors in Africa that have given a chance for the enemy to build bridges between this unit existence and some of our neighbors in Africa, of course. The great achievement here is our roots in Africa represents a very important side of our own national security. It means a lot for Egypt, for our national security, and the national security of the whole continent, for Egypt to be the leading role and the leading brother in our Africa, in our own continent. The people and the nations in Africa realize how important Egypt is to them. Mr. President Sisi made it clear to the African nations that Egypt have taken back the lead, the responsibility of the leading role of this continent. We made it clear in each and every level possible, brotherly, economically, diplomatically, by the very important cooperation on the basis of economical ways, like we have already built the new great dam in Tanzania, the Julius Nyerere Dam, with cooperation with our own neighbors, our own roots. We all in Africa, as Egypt, sons of Ham, and we belong to the same roots. Also, with our presidency and heading the African Union, we have proven that Egypt deserves and earned that position with our strong political will and our own powers of diplomacy. We have taken the whole continent into another dimension through this presidency of the Egyptian presidency of the African Union. We all became a part of the great international summits like the G20 and other international summits. We have opened new horizons.
And we launched initiatives like silencing the guns, like developing infrastructure all over the continent. We are with the development of all our African allies, and as you've kindly mentioned, we do have a share in this development process. But if you permit me, I'd like also to move to other parts of the world. We have this balance between the East and the West. I mean, Egypt now has strategic partnership with the United States and with China in the same time to diversify our resources when it comes to strategic goods, for example, to take into consideration that it all the time should be a win-win situation. Last but not least, in the last visit by EU leaders headed by Ursula von der Leyen, the EU Commissioner, in addition to 6 European leaders, many memoranda of understanding were signed, and the partnership between Egypt and the EU became also a strategic one. How do you see this?
I believe we are the only country in the whole world that we have both strategic relations with both the East and the West. I don't recognize, I don't find another country in the whole world that have that cooperation, cooperation that built upon a new understanding of building the foreign affairs file based only on our own best interests. We have a very strong relations with the East, with Russia, with China, with North Korea, with
India,
all Far East, as well as we have stronger and even stronger relations with the EU and other powers in the West. We have our solid relations with the US and other countries in the West that represented truly in building the same bridges on the military way. We have our military relations through our arms and weaponry with Russia, with China, with as the same way as we have the same military ties with the U.S., with Germany, with France. On the other hand, but not so far, we are building our own military industries that we are making our own weapons for the first time.
And to start from where the others already ended. And
exactly.
as you've kindly mentioned, our military maneuver, our military exercises and drills with all our allies, with all our friendly nations, approve of what you have just said. Because we are running out of time, and I want to mention other files. Let's talk, and since you mentioned security, and this is very important, since you mentioned military cooperation, and it's very important, about fighting terrorism. In my humble opinion, Egypt fought terrorism on behalf of the whole world, and the massive military operation which took place in Sinai for years and ended with full elimination of terrorism in our dear peninsula. It was a gift from Egypt to humanity. We were able to fight and to conquer terrorism and to do it on our own. How do you see this file too?
This is a very intelligent remark. We have first, on behalf of the region and the Arab world and the East world, we have stopped the great vicious agenda that was being applied against the Eastern countries by the revolution of June 30. Second, we have fought on behalf of the whole world our battle against terrorism, and we have conquered that vicious powers of terror, and we have conquered them throughout a victory that even the American army couldn't achieve in Afghanistan. But we have won the same challenge, even stronger, in Sinai. That gives the whole world a chance to breathe. We have given our friends in Russia a chance to regain their lost lands. We have stopped the whole agenda of terrorism against the Islamic world and the whole world, the nations of the whole world. Only the Egyptian army could achieve such victory. And, of course, the whole world realized this for Egypt and recognized this for Egypt. Without Egypt, there is no stability in the whole world. The same role we are doing right now, as well as we are facing the Zionist aggression against the Arabic land in Palestine and in Gaza Strip. We are standing against it and pushing it forward towards a peaceful solution, despite the pressures we are facing from so many sides. But we are protecting our own national security, not just our own national security as a country, but as a continent. As we are the leading role in the Eastern world, I believe that only Egypt, with the strength of its roots and the historical leading role, can take such responsibility and achieve it, and be ready to achieve even more in the near future.
Inshallah. Sir, let me go to another side of the coin, which is the Egyptian character, the Egyptian citizen. And it was a priority to invest in the Egyptian citizen more than anything else. And to speak about some initiatives, for example, 100 million health initiative, or 100 million صحة, taking you to decent life initiative, or حياة كريمة, to take into consideration that of course mega projects are very important, of course the industrial sector is very important, but to have this care directed to the low income brackets, and to make sure that, for example, we are going to get rid of hepatitis C, something which we already succeeded in. This is something which we will remember and will be remembered by generations to come. If you want to elaborate on that too.
Well, of course, such projects like حياة كريمة and other humanitarian projects that are supporting great sectors of the society are the other side of the one coin, that we are building our own mega projects all over the world, all over the country, or all over the state, with the leading role of the military association. Without the role of military association, we would never have only one mega project of what we have accomplished. I'm talking about agricultural projects, I'm talking about industrial projects, I'm talking about projects that we have never achieved since the 60s, and the Renaissance of the 60s, as we are right now, taking the lead again and spreading through great projects in Sinai, in Upper Egypt, in Matruh, in each and every dimension of Egypt, and given hope for new opportunities, for work, for places to be inhabited in Egypt, expanding the horizon of our own projects, and having the mix, that smooth and thin line of cooperation between the private sector and the governmental sector and the military sector. That's only through this recipe, I might say, the only way to build our own economy, to feel each and every citizen of us that he is truly soldier in his position, as a doctor, as a builder, as a warrior. We are all an army, the best army on earth. This is only the vision we can achieve to build the new state, the new republic.
And let me take you, sir, to some examples, if you permit me, because the new Suez Canal, for example, it was a dream. And nobody imagined that it can be fulfilled in 1 year rather than 3. To take into consideration that expanding the agricultural land is a first priority of the state, so land reclamation for more than 1.5 million fadans across Egypt, whether in Toshka, in New Delta, you name it. To have the fourth generation cities scattered all over Egypt, from the new administrative capital to El Alamein, to the new Mansoura city, to new El Minya city, to new Asyut city. How do you see this as also part and parcel of our economic development through the past 10 years?
In Suez Canal, there is a huge and important projects are built there, with a very important one of them that I feel this is the most important project accomplished in Sinai, which are the 8 tunnels beneath the Suez Canal that connected Sinai, the eastern front, the eastern part of our country, with the central part of our country.
The delta.
To the delta, connecting it with the central leadership of our military arms that can help our troops to move smoothly to Sinai. This is accomplished for the first time since we have our own Suez Canal more than 100 years. We have also cultivated Sinai. We have built factories in Sinai. We have given the Sinai citizen the feeling that he really belongs to this country, and to defend and to be a part of defending this country. We have witnessed this throughout our war against terrorism. We have another huge and important mega project in Toshka that represents our own backbone of defense against any catastrophe that might happen to Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia, to absorb any overflow that can come to us through our borders. We have our own power stations with too many sides of the world. We have our own nuclear power station with Russia, and another one with Germany. This is the concept I'm talking about. That huge vision, that balance of our relations based on our own national security and our own best interests, our own vision. We are not followers to the east or to the west anymore. This is the most important, to build with dignity. To build with dignity, to build with independence.
We are on the right track to reach the new Republic, Egypt 2030, and it's going to be more close than we can even imagine. Well, Mr. Amr Abdulrahman, journalist and our political analyst, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.